Good evening. Welcome to another video here on this Esoteric Circle YouTube channel. Pete Haskins. Wanda is somewhere. It is Wednesday evening, late June 2024. Wherever you are at on your journey, blessings to you. Welcome. It's great having you here. Going to be talking a little excerpt from my new book, Journey to the Esoteric Circle, about meditation and the journey into nothingness. Oh, let's see, what section of this book is it? It is about chapter 8, entitled Purification of this book. And there's just one section here I talk about when I was 6 years old. Talk about working through karma, right? It says Princeton, Indiana, circa 1974. I'm just going to read a little bit here and we'll talk. When I was a young boy, I had an enormously tough time falling asleep with a deeply sincere fear, almost an existential fear of the dark. Not merely of the boogeyman or ghosts, but something else, something deeper, more real, not just a fairy tale. Real, cold, dark. I would try and fall asleep by myself, but the more I thought about falling asleep, the more moments would slip by, inching ever closer to the cold morning where I would have to go and get up and be indoctrinated by my early education. I hated school when I was little. I would eventually call for my mother or father to come and lie down in my bed and protect me from this nothingness of the pitch darkness of this place I found myself in. I recall on one occasion I had gotten out of bed and began to make it down the hallway to my parents' bedroom. There was a night light on in the bathroom right next to their room, so the faint yellow glow crept out into the hallway. But beyond that glow was their room, their open doorway, like a cave entrance, and beyond that, that was the problem. I saw nothingness, felt the cold nothingness of that space. It was familiar to me, even as a 6-year-old. During the daylight, the dark pit of the hallway extended into the family room and kitchen, but to me, it might as well have been to the deepest, dark reaches of the universe. That darkness was bottomless and alive with an energy which looked back at me as I peeked my head around the corner, trying to gather the courage to traverse the chasm of that light green shag-carpeted hallway and into the safety of my parents' room. But I sat there frozen, cold and sockless, crouched down in silence. Finally, I got the courage to do something. I decided to go and sit in the middle of the hallway, just outside the safety of my room, halfway in between me and my sister's room, and investigate the darkness of that hallway. I sat there and stared into the abyss of that transformed hallway, a portal to another world. I can recall nothing more of that episode, but to some extent, I'm still sitting there, staring into the pitch darkness and waiting to see what will emerge. Such vivid memory for me, and I just encourage you to dive deeply into your meditation. Many of you, especially those on this channel and then in our Discord group, have got the intellectual side down. You know, we've got our three centers, the motor center, the emotional center, and the intellectual center. And we're really good in the West about the motor center, especially. We pay people big bucks for honing the motor center. We do great with the intellectual center at school. We focus on that, but we do not focus on the emotional center. That is the key. The development of the higher emotional center is the key to all fourth way stuff. Especially that's one of the things that Moraviev is good for, is focusing on this. And we just have an overdeveloped sense of analyzing things, don't we? We have this overarching sense that we have just absolutely can analyze things to death. But it's the emotional center. So you read books, and you read more books, and you buy more books. And here I am writing books. But I'm in the midst of selling almost my entire library on eBay, right? And I'm about a third of the way done with selling them. And I'm done. I'm done buying books. I'm done reading books, right? I'm done with that development of the intellectual center. I get it. Okay, I can understand it. So many of us just focus on the intellectual center. We just focus on that. When we leave the emotional center, we don't even focus on it. So many of you don't have a strict developed system of meditation. And you need to do that. And if you hear anything about anything I say on this channel or anything I teach on videos or in Discord or anything, realize that developing a prayer life is the key to this. You have to learn how to listen. You have to learn how to listen. And if you're just sitting there reading and thinking that that is listening, and then once in a while you will pray, if you think that that's it, you're not going to make it. You have to be fascinated and frightened by that chasm, by that darkness. What are you scared of? What happens when you try to shut your mind off and it keeps racing? You use the Jesus prayer, right? You do what Steiner says, do what Rudolf Steiner says, and do this examination backwards of every day. And do this for a month. Just do it for 21 days. Go through your day, step by step. Examine what you did and examine it. And when you did something bad or wrong, ask for forgiveness. But examine your day. Use that. And I'm telling you what, it's an amazing world that you're missing out on. The sense of traveling into that abyss, that nothingness. That's the key. This world is an oubliette, right? This world is a horrible place. Yes, sunsets and nature, and I get it. I love it. I put videos out about about the river, and I love it. I love aspects of this. But when it comes right down to it, we are a sick people who are more interested in being controlled by an authoritarian government and more interested in being controlled by social media and by drugs and alcohol, and more interested in being controlled by codependency and narcissistic bosses and spouses, and we're more interested in being controlled and being a machine than we are with true freedom. If you want true freedom, if you really want it, learn how to meditate and put your book down. Put your book down and learn how to meditate and jump in to that darkness. Jump into that nothingness. Do it. I dare you. Blessings to you. I'll see you. I'll see you in there.